We should talk about Glorio, whoa, whoa, whoa. We should talk about Glorio. Seriously, we're already 4 episodes into Dragon Ball Daima, and we still cannot get a read on this guy. It's really peculiar. Well, what do we know? Well, he appeared right when our heroes needed someone to transport them to the demon realm. Handy. With a knowledge he certainly shouldn't have. And we've also seen him around Goma's palace, and while he was behaving in a careful manner, he doesn't look like someone who doesn't belong there, you know what I mean? He was hiding, but not really sneaking all that much. And the other character we saw in a similar fashion, but at the same time revealing her dark intentions, was Dr. Arinsu, which we haven't seen in a while since the first episode, and we still don't know what her business on Earth is. Glorio also claims to be someone sent by Kadan, the king of the third demon realm. He is very laconic in what he reveals to our 2 other heroes, Goku and Shin, but at the same time, he is being passively supportive, you know? There weren't any real outbursts, as he seems to be quite happy to adapt to the Saiyans' weird whims without much of an issue. Also, we know that he might have at least had part of the recording of the Buu saga. We also know that he is quite competent as a fighter, something that we saw in both episodes 3 and 4, especially in the latter one, when he takes on that monster from the Sea of Darkness and wins with relative ease. He is also supposed to invoke a smuggler, mercenary type of character. As we mentioned before, the Han Solo inspiration is quite obvious, and he claims to be doing work in the first demon realm. The thing is, no one's buying it, right? There has to be more to this guy, surely. Shin seems to be intrigued by this person, but at the same time has his own constant suspicions. We see time and again how the 2 exchange stares with one another. It's pretty odd, isn't it? They work quite well as a duo, but at the same time, there's a bit of mistrust there. Obviously, neither of the 2 have revealed their full hand toward us. We thought we knew Shin, but the truth of the matter is that the Supreme Kai has been hiding a lot of secrets from us, and he has probably got a similar vibe from Glorio, but who is he exactly? Do we have any clues? Is he an enemy or an ally? Will he betray the group, or, well, we have some ideas. Some of them are a bit far-fetched, but that's part of the fun of theorizing. We've missed this. We don't quite know. But let's look at the facts. Glorio has unusually deep pockets. He is able to afford a lot, and he really isn't bothered by Goku's outlandish appetite. He is able to provide for rooms, means of locomotion, as well as other things with little resistance. He doesn't really protest to buying the Medibugs for Goku, despite admitting that he isn't really a big fan when it comes to those sort of gimmicks. Yeah, he might be a really successful smuggler, but I don't buy that. Also, his gun does seem to evoke some kind of authority, which was quite self-explanatory for the owner of the hotel, but still, he does seem like at least a special forces agent or something like that. He doesn't seem to be affiliated with the gendarmerie. Also, we can assume that this eye symbol on their uniform is the mythical tertian oculus. It still might mean that he is a pretty high-ranking member of King Kadan's inner circle, but I kinda doubt it, especially with how shady he is about his work in the first world. There has to be something more going on. Notice that Goku didn't really have to persuade him that much to go on the quest for the Tamagamis. Everyone looks quite worried when you even mention the Guardians, but not Goku. In fact, we learn that no one has ever wished on the Demon Realm Dragon Balls, and that the inhabitants consider them to be the originals. But Glorio? He agrees straight away to this quest. He might want to snatch the wish away from our heroes, sensing this opportunity. Also, there's an interesting thing going on with his name. His name Glorio might be related to a genus of plants called Gloriosa, with Gloriosa superba being the most well-known out of all of them. It is, interestingly, the national flower of Zimbabwe, but also has a lot of regal connotations. A diamond brooch in the shape of this flower was given to Queen Elizabeth II in 1947, when she was still a crowned princess, and was visiting the country of Zimbabwe, or at that time, Rhodesia. Episode 4 also introduced us to the Great Fiend flowers and their sky seeds, and whilst they're not that similar, the colours kinda match with Gloriosa superba, literally glorious and proud in Latin. They evoke similar emotions, you know? Also, We all love Toriyama, but I don't think he would care that much about the shape of a flower. But still, I do think that this small detail might in fact root him in the third demon world after all. Maybe he is a prince, or King Kadan himself. That's our optimistic opinion. That he took everything in his own hands and hopes that Goku and company would help him fix everything for his own kingdom. Maybe as a part of a royal family, he is allowed in other demon worlds without much difficulty. Maybe his secrecy is really connected to him testing our protagonists to see if they're worthy. After all, he seems to be more amused than annoyed by Goku and his antics in episode 4, gave us some really good examples of his endearment toward the Saiyan. So, okay, you must be thinking he's a good guy, right? Well, there are different, more nefarious feelings that we have for the character. So, remember how we kinda joked about him looking like Mira from Dragon Ball Online, Heroes, Xenoverse, etc.? Well, we know that he was designed by Toriyama, same goes for his wife Towa, and incidentally, she shares an interesting trait with Dr. Arinsu. They're both scientists. Come on. Now, Mira is Towa's creation, but would Glorio be in cahoots with the good doctor? Well, the biggest clue might be that we know that they can be both incredibly sneaky. Arinsu kinda plays this for gags at the beginning, but remember, she went to Earth without any of them knowing about it until it was too late. They still haven't found her. Shin and Kibito haven't noticed her, as they did with Goma and Degesu. It would be kind of weird to me if Glorio and Arinsu were both watching the new king of demons from afar and not knowing about one another's existence and spying on people. It does sound like a Toriyama joke, but I don't think he would go that far. Also, look what happened. She is the one to plant the seeds for the conflict with the Z-Fighters in the first place. They had no reason to go to the demon realm if Goma hadn't kidnapped Dende and made them kids. Now she also goes to Earth and simply vanishes. And suddenly, there is Glorio, knowing way too much and pushing the conflict narrative even further, taking Goku away from Earth. But the Dragon Balls have been used. She wasn't there. What was she really there for? Boo. If she saw the same material that Goma and Degesu did, she might be interested in Boo herself. But why? Well, she might want to clone him and have her own set of Majin. She also might want to check if she will be able to extract the remaining bits of Deborah to bring him back. After all, that is how he died, and he is part of Boo. Also, we had that whole scene with Deborah becoming purified in Hithel, but this is an anime filler, and Daima seems to be more close to the manga. Even the Mechian arms are accurate to that. Maybe she doesn't need Deborah per se, but some traces of Deborah. Maybe that will help her gain access to something. Or maybe she really wants the old king back, like I said. After all, both old monarchs are in the intro after all. Again, I do wonder if they are going to appear in the flesh. Arinsu being a Deborah loyalist, or someone who is done being pushed around by anybody. They're both really tempting feelings and thoughts, but Glorio working with her does seem like a logical conclusion. She could show him how to eavesdrop on Goma without being spotted. Also, his overall theme is rather technological with the plane and the pistol. Yes, I know the gendarmerie also seemed tech-like, but no one said she couldn't design their weapons as well. As for the possibilities of Glorio being an artificial lifeform like Mira, well, he is cold emotionally. And I know that isn't proof per se, but this is often a trait given to such characters. There is also his lack of knowledge about Ki, but this might be taken as maybe him just not knowing because he's from a different culture. So, no. I don't think he is her creation. We simply don't have enough evidence for that. There are, of course, other options, that both of the above are true, that as a king of the third demon world, he might be somewhere in line for the throne of the entire widget. Again, it doesn't seem that Goma is related to Deborah by blood, so maybe it's something to do with their status. We also don't know who the ruler of the second demon world is, but we do know that it was the House for Glins. Do they have any pretense to the throne? Is either Arinsu or Degesu pulling the strings there? Now that's an interesting thought. Maybe their deal is for Glorio to become the new king, and for Arinsu to keep doing her sciencey stuff uninterrupted. At least this is what she seems to be interested in the most, from those brief moments that we've had with her. Also, it's pretty possible that Glorio is just an independent party playing his own game, his own side of the conspiracy. Not good or evil, just a neutral bystander, someone who's fed up with Goma, but not really that invested in saving the demon realm altogether, just doing it for the sake of money or their own comfort. Admittedly, If he is simply Dragon Ball's Han Solo, that might be the most boring option. But for now, Daima gives us a very interesting vibe with its characters. It seems that everyone has their set of mysteries and are more than meets the eye. I mean, except Gomo, who is supposed to be a big deal, but he himself knows that he doesn't really match up, so he needs that tertian oculus to elevate himself further than he already is. Again, if Glorio ends up being a villain, I'm quite sure that he might be a reformed one. They are building the relationship between him, Shin, and Goku way too much for him to simply betray them. Again, we didn't really have a traitorous character in Dragon Ball before now, so that would be a first, but at the same time, I think that the Goku effect might get the better of him. It always has done. Once again, the way the story has been unraveling in Daima is very interesting, as there seems to be a lot of foreshadowing building up with the lore of the demon realm being presented to us. But so far, 2 of our 3 protagonists remain pretty mysterious. Now, while I have no doubt that Shin has noble intentions, Glorio, well, he might be self-serving, though it is interesting that he appears to be rough towards the rougher part of the demon realm, and he is not trying to threaten the Sky Seed couple, which means that he has some sort of moral compass in place, or maybe he doesn't feel overly confident without his plane. His true strength is also an interesting manner of discourse. While obviously his pistol is what mostly threatens his opponents, we do know that he might be quite adept at hand-to-hand combat. Perhaps he's tried to fight the Tamagami in the past, but he failed, and now he's excited to have somebody by his side that could beat them? Who knows, yeah? I mean, he can always be the estranged son of Deborah, but the only thing they have in common are yellow eyes. But truth be told, he does appear to be the same type of demonic entity as Towa, and she is supposed to be the late Demon King's sister, so maybe? Again, it would be quite weird for Deborah not to have any progeny running around, and I don't know, but the rebellious kind would really fit with that idea and scenario. It's always a possibility. Anyway, at least we don't have to be worried about mysteries related to him specifically, as we are sure that his secrets are going to be revealed in a future episode. But enough about our theories. What do you think about him? Do you think he's a good guy or a bad guy? Leave a comment below and let's get this discussion going. And I shall see you in the next video. Catch you later.